everybody out there, it's BC Begley again, and these are your news headlines for November the 10th of 2022. Joe Biden says Elon Musk's relationships with foreign countries worthy of being looked at. Asked whether Elon Musk posed a threat to national security, President Joe Biden said Wednesday that the billionaire's relationships with other countries is worthy of being looked at. Iran says it has developed hypersonic missiles. Iran has developed a hypersonic missile capable of penetrating all defense systems, General Hajeda, the commander of its Revolutionary Guards and Aerospace Unit, claimed on Thursday. Consumer prices rose 0.4% in October, less than expected, as inflation eases. The Consumer Price Index rose less than expected in October, an indication that while inflation is still a threat to the United States economy, pressures could be starting to cool. The Dow Jones rallies 800 points as new data raises hope that U.S. inflation may be peaking. Stocks surged Thursday after October's reading of consumer prices raised hopes that inflation has peaked. The Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped 820 points, or 2.5%. The S&P 500 jumped 4%, while the Nasdaq surged 5.5%. Cryptocurrencies climb as market sell-off pauses. Bitcoin rises back above 17,000. Cryptocurrencies climbed on Thursday as the market took a pause from its two-day sell-off and investors digest key inflation data and the ongoing FTX saga. Over 1,200 flights canceled as Tropical Storm Nicole makes landfall. More than 1,200 flights have been canceled Thursday after Tropical Storm Nicole made landfall in Florida, packing winds of up to 75 miles per hour. Deli meats and cheeses have been linked to a listeria outbreak in 6 states. Listeria has been traced to deli meats and cheeses in 6 states, causing 16 infections and 1 death, the CDC said on Wednesday. U.S. couple jailed for trying to sell Navy secrets to foreign government. A federal judge has handed a lengthy prison sentence to a U.S. Navy engineer and his wife for a plot to sell secrets about nuclear submarines to a person they thought was a representative of a foreign government, citing, quote, the great danger they pose to U.S. security. Shop owner who sold winning Powerball ticket is now a millionaire himself. The owner of Joe's Service Center in Altadena, California, who came to the United States from Syria in 1980 with only $14,000, is now a millionaire after selling the soul-winning Powerball lottery ticket. Supreme Court struggles with a case dealing with the rights of Native American tribes. The U.S. Supreme Court's conservative majority seemed conflicted on Wednesday as the justices heard arguments challenging the Indian Child Welfare Act, which is known by the acronym ICWA. Brittany Griner has been moved to a Russian penal colony, her lawyer says. American basketball player Brittany Griner, who's been jailed in Russia in what the United States calls a wrongful detention, is being moved to a penal colony, her attorney said on Wednesday. 100,000 Russian troops have been killed or injured in Ukraine, the United States says. Russia's announced retreat from the Kherson, a regional capital in southern Ukraine that it seized early on in the war, and a potential stalemate in fighting over the winter could provide both countries with an opportunity to negotiate peace, Army General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said on Wednesday. Texas murderer sentenced to death for killing woman to take her unborn baby. A Texas woman was sentenced to death on Wednesday for murdering another woman and trying to take her unborn baby back in October of 2020. President Biden laughs off question about House Republicans' plans to investigate his son Hunter. United States President Joe Biden on Wednesday brushed aside a question about concerns that Republican lawmakers have vowed to investigate his family if they regain control of the House. Quote, lots of luck in your senior year, as my coach used to say, Biden said. Union representing more than 100,000 civil servants vote for strike action over pay, pensions, and jobs. A union representing more than 100,000 civil servants in the United Kingdom has voted to strike in a dispute over pay, pensions, and jobs. The union has warned that unless it receives substantial proposals from the government, it will announce a program of, quote, sustained industrial action on November 18th. President Biden says Xi meeting at G20 summit would discuss U.S.-China red lines. United States President Joe Biden said on Wednesday that he would discuss American red lines over Taiwan, among other issues, during an expected meeting next week with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Uganda ends school year early as it tries to contain growing Ebola outbreak. The Ugandan Ministry of Education and Sports has ordered schools across the country to end the school year early in order to prevent the further spread of Ebola among school children. Leaders push for climate action and fossil fuel tax at UN talks. World leaders are making the case for tougher action to tackle global warming Tuesday, as the year's international climate talks in Egypt heard growing calls for fossil fuel companies to help pay for the damage they have caused to the planet. Afghanistan. Taliban has banned women from Kabul parks. The Taliban have banned women from visiting all parks in Kabul, excluding them still further from public life in Afghanistan. The group claims Islamic laws were not being followed at the parks. Archaeologists in Egypt discover tunnel that may lead to the long-lost tomb of Cleopatra. Archaeologists in Egypt have discovered an ancient hidden tunnel beneath a temple that they hope leads to the long-lost tomb of Queen Cleopatra.